Good morning once again, and thank you for staying tuned to Sunrise at Sea here on CTV. Welcome to the last segment, and that is our views where we bring to you real-life conversations. And joining me today are the ladies. To my far right, Priva Elibaz. Next to her is Sarah Apollo, and next to me is Shivan Alma. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
So today we are talking about the ideal life. Now, an ideal life might mean different things to different people depending on how you perceive life and what exactly you would want to get out of life. But to start with, briefly, an ideal life is being who you want to be, with who you want to be as a person, and also being with who you want to be and doing what you would want to do. And I will tell you that an ideal life might be possible or not possible depending on the circumstances and the situation. I'll bring it to Uganda at the moment with the economic times, the economic crisis that is going on in this country. It might be difficult for you to live your ideal life, but it also may be possible if you are the kind of person that is caught up in corruption scandals, embezzling government funds and taxpayers' money, then it might actually be possible for you to live your ideal life because you have the money. And also some other controversy about the ideal life is you might actually be comfortable living the life that you are living, doing the job that you are doing and being the person that you are. But the moment you look at someone else or another family or your friend and you see, probably they have more money, they have a better paying job, your idea of an ideal life immediately changes because now you want more for yourself. So it also comes from a place of discontent, but it might also come from a place of you as an individual wanting better for your life. So for my first question today, and we also posted it on our social media platforms. Also, do remember to connect with us, and that is Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at CTV. You're going to let us know about what your ideal life would be. So the question is, ladies, what is your idea of an ideal life? Or what is or would be your ideal life if you aren't living it already?
Personally, I have to say, ideal life, it would involve me. You asked me about my ideal life, yes? Mm-hmm. First of all, it's not supposed to be perfect at all. Yeah. For me, my life to be ideal, I would envision myself failing at some things and improving, because we all know experience is the best teacher. Yeah. So an ideal life actually gives you an opportunity to work hard for the future. Yes. Mm-hmm. You try, you fail. You try, you pick up yourself again and try again and try again and try again. And like you said, you're doing things that you want to do for yourself. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're running your own race. You want to make sure that you understand the fact that life is not perfect all the time, not 100%, not all the time, by the way. Mm-hmm. Life can be funny, life can be very tough, but that's where you as a person, you need to understand that, okay, if I'm in a terrible situation, if I'm in a bad space, I don't have to look at what Uwase is doing for me, to make sense of everything. So yeah, ideal life for me. Make the mistakes.
That is your idea of an ideal life.
Yeah.
What is your ideal life as Priva?
Oh, my ideal life, of course, would be making a lot of money.
Say it, put it out there. There might be someone willing to give it to you if you don't already have it. I'm saying if you don't already, I mean, it's okay to have it, still be given. It's a good thing.
Yeah, honestly, for me, my ideal life is being able to live comfortably, affording the basics of life. That includes food, clothing, shelter, health as well. Health is a very important asset. Of course, if you're sick, you're unable to do most of the stuff. So for me, an ideal life would be having the basic stuff close to me. Money, for the aspect of money, we all love money, we all need money, but money is never enough. The more you get, the more you want. So I'm not going to focus on money as it being something that is ideal for me, but I need to be able to access the basics of life and live just comfortably.
Okay. Yeah. Sarah, what would be your ideal life?
First of all, when you said that people who are involved in corruption are living the ideal life, I think that is very, I don't want to use strong terms, but I think that is not right, and that is absolutely very false, because you don't have to be engaged in some criminal activity to live the life that you want to live. And it would definitely be an insult to those who have worked hard and are living their life and have earned it honestly. An ideal life is a life that somebody wants to live. It doesn't have to, it's different for many people. Some people want money and afford everything that they want, like Priva. Some people just want to spend more time with their loved ones. Some people just want to be able to have a moment, a few minutes a day to just, have it by themselves. So an ideal life is different to many people. And the thing about life is about living. And even when you reach that destination. Now that you can afford all the things you want in your life, what next? You're going to stop living? You're going to what? Kill yourself? There's more layers and more layers to life and living. So when you reach every destination you get to, you aspire for more. I know people who have literally had a life plan, drawn it out, and have a vision board in their house, and they're like, this is my plan, and I'm going to work towards this plan. I've had people who have achieved everything on their vision board. And then from there, you get another vision board, you get another one, and you keep on moving on and keep on moving on. So it's very possible to live your ideal life. Everybody is wasting so much time focusing on what they don't have. You don't have enough time to live and enjoy the things that you have. So personally, I am living my ideal life.
Okay.
And it's progress every day. Last year in July, I was not in this place. Next year in July, I'm going to be in a better place. So ideal life is different. So people stop having to cluster it into,
all right.
you know,
Before Siobhan comes in,
Small
disclaimer, I have to make it clear. The reason I say that, like, people who are corrupt in this country, because you realize if you have the money, if you have embezzled money, then you can afford the basic needs that so many people cannot afford. You can afford to be flown out of the country when you know the medical services in this country are not good enough. So yes, you might actually be able to live the ideal life that someone else is not able to live. Siobhan.
Okay. For me, when it comes to ideal life, I want to think of it as my ideal life would be spending most of my time doing the things I want to do and bring me happiness, as opposed to spending a lot of time doing things that do not make sense to me. So for me, my idea of an ideal life is to spend most of my hours in a day doing things that actually make me happy, doing things that put a smile on my face, doing things that make me a better person. And I would say I have reached a point in my life where I am almost reaching a level where I would say, okay, this is my ideal life, because I learned to practice the aspect of gratitude. I am grateful that, the people I love are still alive. I keep telling myself the people that I know will not die young, and all these things. Like, those things keep me going. The mere fact that I have my friends alive, I have my family alive, my parents are alive, I have a good job, I'm healthy. There are people who have all the money in the world, but they need to be flown out, like you mentioned. They need to be flown out into the next country to get medical treatment. But you're working, you have your 2 legs, you have your 2 hands, your eyes are perfectly okay. You do not need contact lenses. These are the small things that we need to be grateful for. The fact that you can swallow. There are people who cannot swallow. It has to be a tube to take saliva down. Like, it's that bad. So for me, I would say for now, I am grateful for what I have. It might not be the ideal, but so far so good. We'll get there in the long run.
I would say for me, I'm not yet living my ideal life because I haven't yet achieved everything that I want to achieve in life. However, the fact that I do have peace of mind, that is one thing that I hold dear when it comes to having an ideal life. Because you can have the money, you can have the friends, you can have, all this luxury and the good life. But if you have no peace of mind, trust me, that's why people commit suicide and all the other things. But just like we mentioned earlier, and the ladies also did talk about it, the ideal life rather varies from different people, and I'll tell you that for a poor person who struggles for daily bread, an ideal life refers to having basic needs, and that is food, shelter, clothing, among others. For an orphan kid, living with parents is an ideal life to them. For a rape victim, getting married is an ideal life. For an acid attack victim, life without struggles is an ideal life to them. For people with health issues, living a stress-free, healthy life is an ideal life to them. For a cancer patient, living without painful chemotherapy sessions is actually an ideal life to them. And also for a human trafficking victim, escaping from the darkness and leading to a peaceful life is an ideal life to them. So you can tell it varies from person to person. But there is a concept that an ideal life is actually an illusion, because you do not wake up and choose who your parents should be. I mean, we are created, for me, I'm a believer, I believe that God chooses parents for us. Yeah. So you don't choose if your parents should be rich or poor. You don't choose if your parents should be literate or not. So it's kind of an illusion that it's something that you may not be able to achieve because you do not choose how to actually live your life. Do you think it's an illusion, or you can actually choose?
First of all, I would like to comment on what you just read out. And it is true, when it comes to people's perception of an ideal life, it is mostly that one thing that you have never had that you really crave to have. For example, an orphan doesn't have parents of their own, but that is the one thing you'll find them probably craving for. So ideal life is shaped by especially situations that people would love to go through that they have not gone through. But when it comes to the aspect of ideal life, and you talking about an illusion, I feel like many times our idea of a perfect life is what someone else is going through. Very many times we see these clips on social media trending and people living their best life, but those people have mental issues. Those people are going through depression. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I'm just saying that very many times we want to live a life. For example, Priva Elibaz is living. You do not know whether Priva sleeps at night. You don't know how many tears she's crying on her pillow. So my question would be, at the end of the day, okay, you get an ideal life, you die, then what? Soil you came, to soil you will go back. Like, there needs to be something that you have. That is why I keep saying, that is why the other time when I was discussing your purpose, there is more to life than just having the good life, than just traveling. What impact are you leaving? When Shivana Uma dies, how will you be remembered? As the slay queen of all the birds in Kampala? Or are you going to be remembered for actually something that makes sense? I like to point out the phrase in the Bible that says, everything is worthless. If I remember it, I'll quote it right. It says everything is worthless. From dust we came, dust we shall return. It's not that you'll be buried. Even when you're buried with your money, it will still rot.
Like, you can't be buried with currency.
Exactly.
So bottom line, for you, an ideal life is an illusion, or it's something that you can create?
I don't think it's an illusion. It's something that you can create as long as you're setting it according to what you want, not a standard of a certain person. Because if you're saying that my ideal life is to be traveling all the time and, having all these good things and have a well-paying job, because you're seeing the Kim Kardashians, because you're seeing the Oprah Winfrey, I'm not saying it is wrong to be like that, but the question is, be sincere with yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, Shivana Uma, can you be an Oprah Winfrey? Be honest. Enough of motivational speaking. Let us put all the cards on the table. Can you be? If you can, go ahead. If you cannot, why don't you create a version of your own self that will be remembered?
Okay. Work better for you.
Exactly.
Well, is an ideal lifestyle something that is an illusion? I don't think so. I think actually an ideal lifestyle is very, very possible. Yeah, because let's accept it, you guys. We're where we are right now because we took decisions that have led us to where we are now. Yes, you could be born in a family where, like you mentioned, you don't choose your parents, whether they're illiterate or literate. You don't choose where which area you grow up in. But, like we understand as you get to 18 and, get into your own person, you start to make decisions on your own. Yeah. Yes. And that's where you start envisioning a lifestyle outside of your family, outside of your friends, like you're getting into your own person. Yeah. So for me, I feel like an ideal lifestyle is possible and it's not an illusion, but you have to make sure you know what you want. Just like you shared with us in the preamble. What do I want? What do I want to do with my life? Who do I want in my life? So it's more of like you take that power back for yourself, think for yourself, make the decisions yourself. But because at the end of the day, the consequences lie with you. You're going to be where you are in life because you made those decisions yourself. So for me, it's like you choose to actually have the ideal lifestyle that you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I would just like to say that I think we need to ask ourselves the questions. Why am I not deserving of this ideal life? It's very possible. When you will say, I cannot be Oprah Winfrey. You can. You can be better than her. You can, study her craft. Be better than her. Put in work. Because you want a life does not mean it's going to fall on your lap. You have to work for it. When you see your friend is married and she has a good marriage, why can't you have that? People say, oh, all men cheat. No, there are men who don't. You want the ideal life, set it and go by it. When people say, oh, have realistic expectations, whose standard am I going by? Yours? You're putting your limits on me? We are not the same, honey. I may not have chosen who my parents are or in which economic bracket I was born in. You get, or what status I was born in, but I can change that. I can be the first one in my family to be a billionaire. I can be the first one in my family to be a president. I can be the first one in my family to be Oprah Winfrey. I can be the first in my family to do whatever. So why are we setting our standards on somebody else's expectations? You want the ideal life, you can get it. Go for it and don't let anybody stop you for it. It's point period blank.
We always say, oh, this is the ideal. The ideal, there is somebody who is living that ideal. It's realistic. One thing God gave us, and if you read the Bible, I would like to use the Bible as an example. In the book of Genesis, God gave Adam and Eve choice. Eat from that tree, don't eat from it. He didn't say don't do it. And they ate. So we have choice. Yeah. We have choice. And you choose. And for every decision that you make, always make sure it is a productive one, it's an impactful one, and it is leading you to where it is that you want to be. You want to lose weight? Technology, there is surgery, there is a diet, there are creative ways, easy ways that you can lose your weight. You want to be in a relationship, there are ways that you can get into a good, healthy one. You want to be a billionaire, there's so many scripts, so much advice, so many courses, that you have everything in this world. All you have to do is put in the initiative and get there. We see people who have come from nothing, nothing. Orphans, lived on the street, ate from garbage bins, were trafficked, were raped, have the worst kind of stories. And now these are people who are changing the world.
Yeah.
So what about you who came from, who God gave the bare minimum?
Okay, I also do agree, because here's the thing. The one thing that you may not choose is, from the moment you're conceived, because you'll not choose for your mother and your father, to come together and conceive you. You may not be able to choose all that from the start when you're still, a child. But as you grow up, everything depends on you, from the choices you make, your ideal life. I mean, create it. Create what would you want to achieve? What career would you want to pursue? What, ventures do you want to, to do? Whatever. What friends do you want? What kind of man do you want to get married to? That is entirely up to you. No one gets to choose for you how your life ends up in the long run. So yes, by the time you reach the point where we are saying bye-bye to this world, make sure at least you will have lived, if not fully, at least part of the ideal life that you wanted to live. So let's talk about, how do you know that you're actually living the ideal life? And let's limit it to the personal life and professional life. How would you know?
When you wake up and you feel like you have purpose for waking up in the morning, you're living your ideal life. When you start feeling like you start feeling content, you start feeling having feelings of gratitude. You have when you have the energy to keep on pushing, that means you are either on your path to the ideal life, or you are already living your ideal life. But then again, like I said, let me go back to the beginning. A lot of us are focusing so much on what we don't have, and we are forgetting to live. Life is for living. For every milestone that you set for yourself, fine, I graduated school, what comes next? You set another one, you achieve that, you keep on achieving. Life is for living. And even though you even get to billionaire status, you're like, okay, I've reached billionaire status, let me get to trillionaire status now. There's always more work to do. Your journey is never done. It's never over until it is over. So you always have to keep pushing. Every day you are alive, you have an opportunity to change your life, to give yourself the things that you want. You want better skin. That is something is somebody's ideal life. I want better skin.
Yeah,
you get,
that is true. People who have acne.
And even after you attain that good skin and you're able to get rid of your acne, you still have to maintain it. It's still a process.
Invest.
So you keep on going and keep on going. So when you want to keep on going, it's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
When you want to keep on going, or keep on fighting, or
Then
keep on advocating, or whatever it is that you're doing, you are in your purpose, you are living your ideal life.
Okay.
That is it for me.
Well, for me, living an ideal life, just like, still you shared in your preamble, what do you want? What people do you want in your life? You are probably living your ideal life when you start to eliminate the unnecessary stuff, yeah? Unnecessary stuff could be bad habits. Maybe you're such a terrible smoker, or you drink a lot of alcohol, or these events never pass you by. For you, every Sunday away for brunch.
What if for someone who thinks, living their ideal life is, partying?
That is someone's ideal
Yes,
life.
like
But you
partying
see,
every weekend and drinking yourself silly. It might be someone's
it could be ideal, but in the long run, it
ideal
catches
life.
up with you, because
Yeah.
now you have nothing to show for it, minus, bills and bills of, money that you've spent
And no
in bars,
progress.
in Bandali Rise, So For me, I think you are living your ideal lifestyle when you start to eliminate the unnecessary stuff, yeah? The parties, the bad habits, the bad friends. Yes, even friends, when you start kicking them out of, the equation, you're pushing yourself to get to a better space and to, just like, be better in general. And, after eliminating your the unnecessary stuff, that's where now you figure out what is actually best for you. Because after you've taken off all these, distractions, you're able to think and, ask yourself, what works best for me? What is going to work for Priva? Yeah? And once you're in that space, you're able to try so many different things. That's why, like I mentioned earlier on in the beginning, you try and fail. It's the best time for you to try and fail as much as possible and experience. We would have vast experience with so many other things. Try out new hobbies, try out new foods, try out something else. You know, helping others. That way you'll be living your ideal lifestyle.
Shiva Nauma.
Ideal life. You can know that you're living your ideal life when you wake up in the morning and you're doing exactly what you want to do. That one thing, very many times when our alarm goes off, do you frown your face or are you happy to go to work? Very big question. Do you frown your face or you're ready to go to work? When you're given a task or an assignment, do you do it as though your boss is watching, or you only do it when they are not there? Or is it interchange the other way? So for me, the first one is how you can tell that you're living your ideal life. One, you're very happy with what you're doing, and even with what you're doing, you're not doing it to please Priva or Aggie or Sarah. You're doing it because Shivan wants to do it. Recently, I learned from my best friend that she has lived a life where she is doing what makes her happy. Like to the extent that even she will say, you know what? I'm going to do a one-night stand. And very many people would frown out. Wait, listen. Listen, let me explain.
Promiscuity, no.
No, listen.
Okay, yes, please.
It's just an example, You do the things that make you happy at that point in time. If you want at 9 a.m. to sit somewhere and drink a Long Island, and for you that is okay, go ahead and do it. Are you doing it to please someone else, or are you doing it for yourself? So one of the major indicators that you can know that you're living an ideal life is you have peace of mind, you're comfortable in your own skin, you're comfortable doing what you're supposed to do, and you do not need to be told and followed up. There are people who come to work, they need to be told what to do, then you have to follow up on them again. You have really, so why didn't you just stay at home in your bed? Why are you coming here to create kavuyo for us? So the first indicator, peace of mind and doing what you love without being coerced. That one thing you do, that should be something that should take you to your ideal life.
Okay, there you had it from the ladies, but also let me give you some ways that you can know that you're actually living either your ideal personal life or your ideal professional life. To start with, the ideal personal life is when you are admired for your talents than your looks and riches. When it really doesn't take much to make you happy, you derive happiness from the simplest things in life. The other one is when you bloom like the flowers of the spring. Oh, that's a lot of literature. Another one, yes, another one is when you have more friends you can talk to at night at 2 a.m. than the online friends who send happy birthday wishes because of a notification. That is something that Priva said, I think it was about 2 days ago. And the other one is when your conscience is clear about all the decisions that you have made in life. And the other one is when your life is not only about daylight worries, but also about midnight feelings. And also when you actually live life, not putting up with life, you're living it, you're not just existing. The other one is when you give more and take less and also expect nothing in return. And finally, when you have made a tough decision that left you baffled, but yet you could sleep peacefully at night and, have peace of mind, like I mentioned earlier. And also an ideal professional life is when you wake up in the morning with purpose and go to sleep at night with satisfaction that you have had a good day and have accomplished all your tasks that you needed to do in the day. The other one is when your work is not a burden but a playtime. Shivan mentioned it earlier. When you're at work, are you being pushed around to do what you actually are supposed to do? The other one is when you have a Best Employee of the Year award. Well, I've never received that, but I hope I hope to get it someday. The other one is when you look forward to Mondays as much as you look forward to the weekends. Don't go to work on Monday grumpy.
I don't think
yes.
It is because you see Monday sets the precedent of how your week is going to.
And it's always terrible for so many people. So if you find yourself in a space where Mondays, you don't get Monday blues, that's a good thing.
I think that's a wrong indicator,
okay.
But anyway.
The other one is when your colleagues are your friends. The other one is when you are comfortable where you are, but you're working hard to get much better things. And also the last one is when you never stop learning. Make it a habit always be open to learning, because I mean, no man is an island. You don't know it all. You always need people, you know, to feed some information and knowledge to you. It's a good thing. So as we wrap up the conversation, I'd like to ask you, word of advice actually for people out there who might think they are not living their ideal life. And some people have the anxiety of, I might get to my deathbed or to the point where I leave this world when I haven't accomplished as much as I want to, or lived the life that I want to. What advice would you give someone out there?
Write it down. Write down your ideal life. I don't know, it could be you want a car, you want children, you want a house, you want this career for yourself, you want to, you know, better your health, you want to lose weight, you want to, whatever the case may be, write down that plan. Write it down. And when you write it down, start breaking it down. How can I achieve this? Do I have to let go some of my, you know, toxic traits, some of my bad habits? Can I cut back on my expenditures? Should I, do you understand? Surround yourself with people who are going to support you and tell you that you can achieve that, as opposed to people who are going to tell you to set realistic expectations. Set yourself with people who are going to who are going to support that idea full, and who are going to hold you accountable for it and say, okay, you want to start a business. How far? Have you gotten your logo? Have you built a website? Have you found a shop? As in, how are you going to sell? Whatever the case may be, have people around you who are going to remind you of what your purpose is. But what is important, write it down. If not, put it on your mirror, put it on your phone screen, use it as your wallpaper, as a reminder that you have work to do. Okay. Write it down.
Well, for me, what I would have to say is, man, find your passion, yeah? Okay, yes, no. Just like to be very, very clear about it. Find something that you actually love doing, you know? Listen to your inner voice. What actually sets your soul on fire? Like you mentioned, you have to wake up in the morning, you feel like you have a purpose. Go to bed, feel like you are so satisfied with what you did the entire day that you don't mind doing it the next day. Otherwise, you're not living your ideal lifestyle. If you're doing something that someone else wants, if you're doing something that is not making you happy, if you're with your friends that piss you off so many times, you're not living an ideal lifestyle, really. So for me, it's like, focus on your passions, find that one thing that sets your soul on fire, focus on that. That's where your happiness lies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shivana.
Give your life to God. Start by giving your life to God.
That's actually vital.
Yes,
Give your life
vital.
to God. By the way, let me tell you, I'm not here to preach, and I'm not here to change your religion or anything, but that at the end of the day, your life is totally meaningless if God is not at the center. You make your plans, but trust me, He can change them any day, anytime. You can fail to wake up in the morning, and your eye can fail to blink. We keep saying don't blink, but it's very possible that your eye can even fail to blink the next day.
Yes.
So the first one, give your life to Christ. Put Him at the center and do what makes you happy. Do not live a life to show the rest what you're trying to do. Do you, and live within your means.
Okay. For me, I would say define what your ideal lifestyle is, who you want to be, who you want to spend your life with, and what you want to do. When you find out, you know, when you get the answers to those questions, then everything will fall in line. But eventually, in the event that you actually do not get to live, you know, your ideal life that you viewed or envisioned as an ideal life to you, be comfortable and know that, you know what, it's life, and you can never have it all together. But just like Shivan said, give your life to God. He has it all. Whatever you want, He has it. Well, that winds up what we had for you on our views this morning. Keep watching Sunrise at Sea, and don't blink.
We have come to the end of today's episode of Sunrise at Sea. I hope you had a good time. Of course, we enjoyed giving you all that information. And of course, on the Twitter Jabs, we had the discussion on the Uganda's population growth and the effects and the implications. So, you know, I hope you were able to learn a thing or two about that. And of course, that ladies did share their views in our last topic, that as we talked about the ideal lifestyle. So I hope you're able to find your passion, please. I hope you're able to do something that makes you happy at the end of it all, because that's the purpose, yeah? That's the goal, to be happy at the end of it all. Well, the conversation continues on our social media platforms, that is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CTV Uganda. From me and the team at Sunrise at Sea, good morning.